Welcome back to A People's Guide to Publishing. I'm Joe Beal, the founder and CEO of Microcosm Publishing and Distribution. I'm also the author of A People's Guide to Publishing, which distills what I've learned from selling millions of books over the past 25 years.
I'm Ellie Blue. I'm the editorial and marketing director here at Microcosm. We are an independent mid-list publisher based in Portland, Oregon. We have 14 employees, over 650 titles in print with 20 to 40 new books per year, and we distribute thousands of titles from other publishers.
We started this podcast so that we can share what we've learned with newer publishers so that you can learn from our mistakes.
Or maybe you just want to understand the publishing industry.
This week, we are going to talk about... Well, actually, we were going to answer a reader question. Will putting an ISBN on my book get it into stores?
That was a great question.
Mm-hmm.
It's like casting a magic spell.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, yeah. Casting a magic spell. That's good. I was going to, make a cart horse metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a...
That's pretty good, too.
Mm-hmm. And you're, it's like you're trying to solve a problem that isn't yet a problem.
I guess... How far up do we want to back this?
No, let's back it all the way up.
All the way up.
Mm-hmm.
So, where does it all begin?
So, we have another episode from last year, or dare I say, maybe the year before, about what ISBNs are and what their role is in the industry. So, if you haven't watched that program, I would start there. Mm-hmm. And then that'll really bring you up to speed on the history of ISBNs, why they're in use, and sort of their broader function. But the utter shorthand is that it's a unique identifier that when you say, I'm talking about the book, Quit Your Day Job Workbook, then somebody doesn't have to say, do you want the large print edition? Do you want the children's adaptation? Do you want the hardcover? Do you want the board book? Do you want the paperback? Do you want the ebook? Do you want the audiobook? Which book are we talking about?
Do you want a totally different book by a different publisher with the same title?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then that's... Ooh, man, you had to go there.
Sorry, everyone.
That so many books share a common title. Oof.
So ISBNs are great, especially if you work in fulfillment or something and you're like, what book do they want?
And then you don't
Which
have to...
called Witchcraft of Magic or Crystals with Astrology? Or...
Mm-hmm. Then it's never the question of, oh, not this one, that one. The ISBN is the way to specify.
So the reasons to get an ISBN for your book might be...
Well, that. So when somebody specifies your book, it shows up on the listing.
But then what are the reasons to not get an ISBN?
I mean, it's not that there's not reasons not to get an ISBN, but it's just that an ISBN may not materially benefit you in any way if you aren't selling into those markets.
Right, like your book has to be among the other books that it would get mixed up with.
Yeah, for that to matter, yeah. Like if you're making a program for your art show that you want to double as like something that you sell at events, you might feel special and important by putting an ISBN on it with a barcode, but it's not important. There's no need to do that. So
I would say to answer the reader's question, like bookstores want your book to have an ISBN, but having an ISBN will not get your book into bookstores.
That is a great point. And so, it's like my advice typically would always be solve the problem that you're facing, not the problem that you're anticipating. Mm-hmm. Because I can't tell you how many times it's like if you live life that way, you will always be solving problems that you'll never have, and then you will forever be moved into inaction because you can't do anything because you can see all the different ways that something could go wrong and that you can't anticipate and prevent them all, and life is a big ball of anxious, catastrophe.
I mean, ISBNs are kind of expensive until you're buying a lot of them. It's the other things.
Yes, that is sort of the other thing. I guess cost is the reason not to, and that it may not get you anything. But
when did Microcosm start putting ISBNs on books?
The beginning. I mean,
we still have a lot where we're like, need sticker.
Well, it doesn't. I've had a lot of bad ideas in my time, but having an ISBN and not having a barcode on the book is
Oh, right.
and so and this is but and I guess worst case scenario, if you're like in that position where a store is like, we'd love your book but we can't sell it without an ISBN, you can just buy an ISBN at that point and sticker the book. It's not, the store is not going to buy thousands of books. So, and you wouldn't want them to if you're at that height and capacity. You would want them to be buying a reasonable number at a time that you can manually sticker and maybe even enjoy that.
And if, you do sell thousands for some fluke, you can do a new print run with the barcode and ISBN.
And what's better than failing into success upwardly? Thanks for joining us once again.
Please send your questions to podcast@microcosmpublishing.com so we can answer them on future episodes.
And please give us 5 stars on iTunes and everywhere else that podcasts are reviewed.
You can find us on the internet at microcosm.pub,
on Twitter at Microcosm,
on Facebook at Microcosm Publishing,
on Instagram at Microcosm_pub,
and here in Portland, Oregon on North Williams Avenue.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful week.